So a guy was going for a walk in a neighborhood with his girlfriend, and he saw something yellow. And as they walked by, he noticed there was a zinc yellow '03 Mustang Mach 1 parked in the driveway. He took note of it, thought it was a pretty cool car, and as time went on, he started to notice that the car never moved. About 10 months later, he decided to go ahead and put a note on the car and ask the owner if they would be willing to sell it. 3 weeks went by with no response, and then one Saturday morning he got a phone call. It was the owner of the Mach 1, and they told him that they would be willing to sell the car and that he could come and look it over. Unfortunately, the owner of the car had passed away in 2020, and the wife was the one who had the car now, and she was not really doing anything with it, and so at this point she was ready to sell it. So he went over and looked at the car, and he could tell that cosmetically it needed some work. It was pretty dirty from sitting for so long. The stripes were a little bit faded on the side, which, on a side note, no pun intended, I've heard that these side stripes can actually be cleaned up, waxed, and taken care of to the point where you can get the oxidation out of them and they might be able to be saved. They are a matte black color from the factory, but I've heard that people have cleaned them up. The hood stripe was peeling up. The shaker is a little bit faded from being out in the sun. The roof was the worst part of it. It looked like the clear coat was gone and it was starting to rust a little bit. You could see the rest of the car had some dirty buildup just leaking out of the C-pillars, the fuel door, the bumpers, but it was all there. The back of the car was pretty dirty. Underneath the taillights you can see where it was kind of draining and dirty from probably being rained on a lot. But this was 10 months of sitting and being neglected. Under further inspection, they got a battery in it and turned the key and noticed it only had 107,000 miles on it. That's pretty low. The ABS light was on and the car started for about 25 seconds and then shut off and it wouldn't run anymore. So the fuel pump was probably the culprit. He checked the pressure at the fuel rail and noticed that there was nothing there. So the car was definitely going to need a fuel pump, and in this case was technically non-running. The engine bay looked really good. The engine looked clean. The car appeared to be all stock. Not so much as a cold air intake or even an exhaust system. It looked like it was all stock. The air intake silencer was either capped or missing. A lot of people actually take off the silencer there and they put a cap, or I've seen even spice caps like a McCormick cap, and they'll take that off because it makes the intake a little bit louder. That is actually somewhat of a intake muffler on there. It's also called a silencer, but you can see how some people have gone really all out, made some really nice caps. I believe this was like a blow-off valve cap or something that they had custom made. One of my friends on Instagram, Azure Blue Mach 1, spelled that way, has a really nice Blue Mach 1, and he has a nice cap that he has on his car. It's more black and subtle, and he says that it's called a billet resonator intake plug that he bought from UPR. But anyway, looking at the engine bay, it looks like it's pretty clean. Like I said, the shaker is faded from being out in the sun. It's almost a white color, and there are some things that people have done over the years to try to bring this back. It's actually a metal shaker. Some people think it's plastic, but it's not, and as a matter of fact, I've heard that Ford used the same casting for this shaker as they did for the 69 Mach 1 and the Boss 302, if they were equipped with a shaker as an option, of course. So those older muscle cars technically had an aluminum shaker that was brought back for 2003 and 2004 for the Mach 1 to look authentic. Some people have painted them. Some people tried trim and bumper paint. This is a product by Rust-Oleum. It might be a little bit glossy for some people's taste. It should be a matte black color is what the shaker's supposed to be. And so this is how that one came out by somebody. Another guy said powder coating is the way to go, and he powder coated a couple of these and they turned out really nice and wrinkle black. Azure Blue Mach 1, again, he tried a product called Forever Black, and he said he got it on Amazon, and I think that brought it back pretty good. If your shaker can be brought back, maybe that would work. And he also tried painting the lower piece of the shaker, People think these are rubber, but I guess they're actually plastic, and so he used satin black Krylon Fusion for plastic spray paint, and that's what he did to make his look so much better. He did disassemble the shaker and separate it so he could paint those pieces separately. So there are some options to try to bring that shaker back. The interior of the car is really nice too. Low mileage interior upgrade package. You can see stock radio. It looks like it even has the 12-volt plug for the cigarette lighter, which usually are long gone, so that's cool to see, as well as the rubber cup holder insert. Those are usually missing as well. Very nice looking car inside. So they were able to negotiate back and forth on a price, and they both agreed on a pretty decent price considering what the car needed. Then they got the Mach 1 home and got it all cleaned up and nice. Look how much better that looks. And that's really what the car should have had all along. Just a nice cleaning and occasional wash here and there would have taken care of it. You know, a garage would have been nicer too, but anyway, so I'm happy to see that this Mach 1 has now found a good home. It's something that if I saw sitting on the street or parked in a driveway like that, I would have really wanted to do the same thing and get that car rescued. So it's really cool to see that someone has gone through and done this now. And as you can see in this picture, here it is parked in the garage next to what looks like an '04 convertible Mustang GT in screaming yellow. So really cool. I'm very happy for them, and this car will get a few little things. They did replace the fuel pump and got the car running, and it runs great now. The ABS light is on. That's very common on the New Edge Mustangs. It's really not that big of a deal. A lot of those ABS modules go out around 100,000 miles. Most people just drive the car that way. It's not really a big problem. My yellow Mach 1 has its ABS light on right now. I've had several GTs that had the ABS light on, so they might get around to fixing that. But as you can see, it looks really good in this picture, and they said that they're planning on keeping it stock as possible, but they would like to put the wider wheels on the back by AFS or the late model restoration ones, and I think that would be a good touch to the car as well. It would look a lot like mine. So here's a picture of mine. Very similar car, same year, same color. And here on mine you can see what I'm talking about with the rear wheels. They're Mach 1 style wheels. They look exactly alike. They're supposed to be made to look exactly identical, but wider and deeper dish. So really good look to the car. I think that lowered a little bit with those wheels as far as appearance go is about all these cars need. So what a cool story. I really like this. I'm glad that this Mach 1 got saved by somebody who loves it and appreciates it and who's taking care of it, got it running again. And you know, if I saw this car sitting here like this, like I said, I would love to go rescue it myself. So really good to see this story, and I'm very proud of the owner for doing this, and I'm excited for them. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Mustang content.